Last night at the Hog's Bog Tavern, the new bartender botched things pretty badly. The party of adventurers came in to relax and have some drinks, but the bartender was so nervous about the new job that he just couldn't seem to get the orders straight. He couldn't get the brands or the kinds of drinks right, and couldn't remember the right prices for the different drinks that the adventurers wanted. The adventuring party consisted of a dwarf that wanted 30 gold pieces worth of Dwarfhead Stout from the Underhops Mine, an elf that was willing to pay 60 gold pieces for an order of the Corellon's Nectar brand of Mead, a gnome that agreed to pay 10 gold pieces for some golden light from the Glenlight Brewery, a halfling that was somewhat surprised to find that Osborn's best Pulsch brown ale was available, and at 8 gold pieces per order was cheap at the price, and a morose Half Orc that begrudged 15 gold pieces for some Frenzywater from the Clearwater Distillery. That isn't at all what they got. Based on the clues given below, can you figure out which kind of drink was served to which adventurer, which brand they were told it was, and how much each was charged for the drink they got? Number 1. The bartender tried to charge 15 gold pieces for the drink from Glenlight Brewery. What the bartender claimed was from Glenlight Brewery turned out to be neither Mead nor Pulsch brown ale. Number 2. The adventurer that ordered Pulsch brown ale was actually served golden light. Number 3. The bartender tried to charge twice as much for the Pulsch brown ale as they charged for the golden light. They also tried to charge twice as much for the golden light as they charged for the Dwarfhead Stout. Number 4. The bartender mistakenly claimed that Frenzywater was made by the Underhops Mine. Number 5. Neither the dwarf nor the gnome were served Corellon's Nectar. Number 6. The bartender claimed that the mead he served to the Half Orc was made by Osborn's best. The worksheet has already X'd out the combinations that represent the different drinks the adventurers initially ordered. It's your job to find out what they actually got. To use the worksheet, mark a cell with a dot if you find a positive correlation between one of the things along the left edge and one of the things across the top. For example, you can tell from clue number 1 that the drink the bartender tried to charge 15 gold pieces for was produced by Glenlight Brewery. Therefore, you place a dot in the cell that associates 15 gold pieces on the left with Glenlight Brewery across the top. Once you find a positive correlation, you can mark off the associated negative correlations along each axis. For example, if you have a dot in the cell for 15 gold pieces and Glenlight Brewery, you can place an X in each of the following cells. 15 gold pieces in Underhops Mine. There's already an X for the cell for 15 gold pieces in Clearwater Distillery, so you don't need to mark that. 15 gold pieces in Corellon's Nectar. 15 gold pieces in Osborn's Best. 8 gold pieces in Glenlight Brewery. There's already an X for the cell in the cell for the 10 gold pieces in Glenlight Brewery, so you don't need to mark that. 30 gold pieces in the Glenlight Brewery, and finally 60 gold pieces in the Glenlight Brewery. If you can establish 4 negative correlations in a group along one axis, you have proven that the 5th cell in that group is the positive correlation. As above, if you mark a positive correlation with a dot in the cell, mark the negative correlations along the other axis with an X. By the way, the bartender was found bloody, bruised, and unconscious in the alley out back of the Hog's Bog Tavern. Fortunately for him, he was found by a healer that took pity on him and fixed him up. But the Hog's Bog Tavern once again has an opening for a bartender.